It's not nice seeing fear at your new job. You wonder what made people so afraid and whether one day you'll fall victim to it yourself. That was me, sitting at my first change board meeting at the bank. 7 people sat around a table, and 3 of them were visibly nervous. As part of my induction, I'd been invited along to the meeting. It was one of those meetings where project teams have to get together and justify changes that have been made to the project. Usually more time, more money, or changes to the scope. I'd attended similar meetings in the past, but at this organisation it just seemed so much more intense. The head of assurance was running the meeting. He was calm, measured. He leaned forward and started to ask questions. Reasonable questions. Why had the timescales moved by a month? What was the impact? What were the knock-on effects? The project manager and his team had a printed form explaining all of this that they'd pre-submitted. Extra costs, delayed benefits, dependencies slipping. They read it back to him like a script, and that's when it turned. "What are you doing about it?" he asked. And the team just looked blank. "Well, after you approve the request..." "I'm not approving the request. What are you going to do to get back on track?" You could feel the air change. Fear in the team. I was on the other side of the room holding my breath, and the whole room went quiet. Eventually a BA suggested a way to parallel run some of the tasks. The PM didn't like it. He was wincing, but he admitted it might help. "So why didn't you have this conversation before wasting our time with this request?" came the response from the head of assurance, just dropping the request form on the table. The meeting ended with the project still red. No approvals, just a deadline to come back in 2 weeks with a proper plan. And I realised then why people dreaded the change board. It wasn't just about the decision about whether you get the approval or not. It was about dealing with someone who enforced true accountability. And looking back, only the unprepared had reason to be afraid. Nearly every project is going to hit a delay or a cost increase or shifting priorities. That's normal. What isn't normal is walking into a governance meeting expecting a rubber stamp. What that head of assurance was really doing wasn't cruelty. It was forcing the team to think like owners, not employees. If this was your investment, what would you do to fix it before asking for more? And honestly, he was right. Here's what I took from that day. First, adopt an entrepreneurial mindset. Before asking for more time or money, ask yourself, if this was my money, what could I change to reduce the request? What could I cut, simplify, or accelerate? Second, prepare for scrutiny. Assume the tough questions are definitely going to come. Anticipate them, wargame them with your colleagues. Have your trade-offs and your risks ready to go. When you show that level of thinking, even the harshest of challenges becomes easier to defend. And third, don't mistake pressure for hostility. The point of governance isn't to humiliate you. It's to prevent waste and to sharpen decision making. The teams that walked in prepared had nothing to fear. So next time you're facing a change board or any high stakes meeting, remember it's not about avoiding the challenge. It's about showing that you've done the hard thinking before someone else has to do it for you. Now back then, I was the new guy sitting holding my breath on the sidelines. Today, I'm the one running those governance forums, and the lesson hasn't changed. Only the unprepared have reason to be afraid. That experience is what I now bring to my clients. I help boards and executives to get real confidence in their projects, and I help delivery teams to prepare for tough scrutiny. If that's something your organisation needs, check out the link in the description.